Right.
I forgot to mention I have 3 daughters.
Yes. And we probably, I know we have like some of the campaign stuff.
Yeah.
With the pictures.
Yeah,
Where
good.
are they, how old are they?
They're 21, 19, and 14.
And where's your 14-year-old?
She's at Mercyhurst.
Okay. I
Yeah.
think
Two are in college. Yep.
Okay, because I have a 14-year-old who's a freshman at Villa.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that they have some mutual friends.
Probably.
Because I saw one of them post something and
Yeah.
I saw the name DiNicola. I'm like, oh,
Yeah, off the
that's
record,
awesome.
non-conversation, I was pushing for Villa,
Yeah.
but I got outvoted.
Well, it's funny too because my daughter wanted Mercyhurst and I said no because we live in Frontier. I'm like, I'm not driving up there. There's
Yeah.
no easy way from Frontier to Mercyhurst.
You're smart.
So that was the
Yeah.
And
That
I
was a
have no
factor.
tie. I'm not from here. So.
Oh, yeah. Where are you from?
I grew up in Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Oh,
but-
okay. Great. I know Fort Wayne, yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
So, are you rolling?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're asking the same 5 questions of all the candidates this election, and our first question is, what is your top priority if elected?
I think top priority is to get the federal government back on the side of working families in Western Pennsylvania, and cleaning up the dark money, the avalanche of political funding that's going into candidates and manipulating our political process and allowing the special interests to have a stranglehold on our government.
Okay, and how would you use your office to improve quality of life for the Erie region?
Well, I think we have to make sure that we're providing educational opportunities, particularly post-secondary educational opportunities for our workers and our students, to give them the tools to compete in the global economy. We need to make sure we're creating a livable community. That means we have to have pathways for those that are perhaps stuck in poverty, don't have the choices now that they need, give them a pathway out through educational opportunity. And third, we need to protect our environment. It's critical to our future. It's always been our commodity. It will continue to be our commodity. We have rivers, lakes, and streams that make us attractive as a destination and as a potential home. And if we get those first 2 right and the environment right, we will attract new investment to the region. I'm confident of that.
Okay, and what are your red line issues when it comes to budget votes?
Red line issues, meaning?
Look, what are some things that you'd be willing to cut or that you think need to be taken care of?
In order to reduce the debt?
To reduce the deficit, what are some things that you look at as in terms of?
Well, I think this is a great question, and I think this is one that separates me from my opponent. Number one, I think we need to close the multinational corporate tax loopholes that are allowing companies to park their intellectual property and their businesses overseas in order to evade U.S. taxes and then do business in the United States. I agree with the President on that. We need to act on that. Second, I think we do need to cause the Europeans to pay their part of their shared defense so that it takes down our costs with regard to that shared defense, and I think there's a great savings. There's a great savings there. I also think we have to make sure that we're not passing bills like the recent tax bill that adds $2 trillion over the next 10 years to our deficit. I mean, that is a problem for us going forward. We already have $22 trillion in debt. We have another $10 trillion that's going to rack up automatically. We're going to have another $2 trillion as a result of this most recent tax bill, and 83% of that tax bill are going to the 1% billionaires and multinational corporations, and that has to stop.
Okay, if you received $5 million grant, how would you distribute those funds to your district?
Well, I think that they would go primarily to split between economic development and educational opportunity, because those are the 2 main priorities that we have. We have to, I think that the strides that Erie is taking now, for example, and many of the other great 5 counties. Remember, I represent Crawford, Mercer, Lawrence, Butler, and Erie County, so I don't want to speak in terms of Erie County alone, but I think we need those funds for economic development in order to create attractive opportunities within the region. And second of all, we need to use that for the expansion of post-secondary educational opportunities so that our workers can meet the challenges of the jobs that are coming. Because 60% of those jobs are going to require some certification in math, engineering, and the like. And so we're going to need to have a prepared workforce. I think that's essential. And that's really one of the great investment magnets, is having a skilled workforce that's ready to meet those challenges.
Okay, and finally, what makes you a better choice for this position, this election?
I think because of my experience, my background, my demeanor, my approach to problems, I think is in stark contrast to my opponent's priorities. his priorities have been primarily serving the interests of the special interests. When he's not serving those interests, he's serving his own interest in Congress. I think we need to get the government back on the side of working families and those communities that are fighting for sustainability. There's plenty to be hopeful here, but it's important for us to give our innovators, give our communities, give our citizens the opportunities that they need to be competitive in that global environment to create freedom and choices for their kids.
Thank you very much. That's it.